Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Siboga TV, which is your number one online political channel. ODM, as a political party, has given a demand to Kalonzo Musyoka that if 2027 they will be a smear coalition and Kalonzo becomes a presidential flag bearer, then he must choose a runmate from ODM. That is actually what people from ODM are saying, and even the political leaders of ODM, because they have come out and they have said that ODM is one of the largest party in Azimio, followed by Wiper Party. And because ODM is one of the largest party, that's why it deserves that it must be given the position of the presidential running mate. If at all 2027 Azimio coalition will still stay together. And there are various individuals who have been proposed by the ODM members who actually can deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And on that list, we have Opiyo Wandayi. We also have Wycliffe Oparanya. We also have Harry Hassan Joho. We also have Babu Owino. And lastly, we have Edwin Sifuna. And many people have said that if at all Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka wants a running mate, he must fish from that cup of individuals. Either Edwin Sifuna can be a running mate, Wycliffe Oparanya, Harry Hassan Joho, or Babu Owino, and lastly Opiyo Wandayi. So for today, we are going to discuss and see who is capable of deputizing Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka from the ODM fraternity. But before we dive in and try to dissect that, I could request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good to request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always make sure to smash the bell button, because by doing that, you will give YouTube an okay to notify you whenever we come up with any political content. Now, let us go back to the discussion. So, among these political leaders from ODM, who do you think is fit enough to deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka for presidency? Let's come 2027. Let's start with Wycliffe Oparanya. Wycliffe Oparanya comes from Western Kenya. And in the Western Kenya, it is actually a fort-rich region. And we have actually many people from the Western Kenya who are members of ODM. And sometimes we call West Kenya as the bedroom of ODM. And we have been calling it the bedroom of Paba. So Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya comes from that region. At the same time, Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya has been in politics for quite a long time. He was an MP. He is the former governor from that part. And he has all what it takes as political experience. What Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya lacks is the speech to stand and convince people why they should be elected to lead this nation. So many people see Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya as a person who can be the runmate of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. But the only thing they don't see him is about having charismatic speech. The speech which makes people to be moved. That's what Wycliffe Oparanya lacks. But other qualities, Wycliffe Oparanya actually have them. Let us also go to the second person, Harry Hassan Joho. Harry Hassan Joho comes from the coast. And the coast has also been the bedroom of ODM. And people see Harry Hassan Joho as a person who is quite charismatic, as a person who gives a speech which actually can move the crowd, as a person who is a very good orator. But can Harry Hassan Joho deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? That's another question, because when people look at the coast, they say that the coast is not a fort-rich region within the Republic of Kenya. And there is also this tension between our regions, because in Kenya, it's a Christian, is majority, most Kenyans are Christian in majority. And as Hassan Joho is a Muslim, also that can bring something which can make Harry Hassan Joho not to be the running mate of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And in terms of being in politics for a long time, so that at least he can understand the Kenyan politics, many people say that Harry Hassan Joho does not have what it takes to understand the entire Kenyan politics. And that's why they don't put him as a person who can actually be the running mate of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Another person is called Papu Owino, who is an MP of Embakasi. I don't know whether it's Embakasi East or South, but it's an MP from the capital city of the Republic of Kenya. And Babu Owino is quite charismatic. Babu Owino actually knows very well on how to mobilize people. But Babu Owino is seen not to have enough experience in politics. And that's why whenever Babu Owino wants to deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, there are people who can tell him that, hey, you need to take it slow so that at least you can have more experience of the politics of Kenya. Then we have Edwin Sifuna, who also comes from the western part of the country, from where Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya comes from. So they say Sifuna is quite very well in speech. He can move the crowd. He's good in organizing rallies. But the experience part of it is what people are questioning, because they see Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya to have more experience than Edwin Sifuna. And also we have Opiyo Wandayi, who comes from Nyanza, from a fort-rich region where Baba comes from. But they say that Opiyo Wandayi actually lacks the speech, actually lacks what we call organization skills. And that's why people don't see whether Opiyo Wandayi can make a good Runmate for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So we have actually looked at the strength and weaknesses of those individuals. And now you will find that those individuals, when people look at them the way I've looked at them, they end up coming up with this list of people who can deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. They always say that Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya can actually be the deputy of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Then they say that we have Harry Hassan Joho. Harry Hassan Joho can also be the deputy of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka because he has that charismatic kind of speech for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So we have actually looked at the strength and weaknesses of those individuals. And now you will find that those individuals, when people look at them the way I've looked at them, they end up coming up with this list of people who can deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. They always say that Wycliffe Ombeta Oparanya can actually be the deputy of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Then they say that we have Harry Hassan Joho. Harry Hassan Joho can also be the deputy of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka because he has that charismatic kind of speech. And lastly is Edwin Sifuna. But when it comes for Edwin Sifuna, he becomes the last person because we have Wycliffe Ombeta of Oparanya, who actually they come from the one region. So those can be the three people who can deputize Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka if ODM demands that it is a must. They must be given a Runmate, and therefore Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka will choose from those three individuals. What is your take about all this? If ODM gives that demand the way they are giving it, who do you think should be the Runmate of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? And the last question I'm asking, will that make if Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka pick one of the three people I have said, will that make him to win? That is another question which actually we must ask ourselves. And that question, I will actually try to answer it when we will have another political conversation in the next session. Please drop your comment who among the three you think will make a good deputy for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And with that, I say thank you. May God bless you abundantly until we meet in our next political discussion. Goodbye.